What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs bringing you a brand new video. Today's video, I am going over week 4, just kind of recapping it for you guys, and then looking at the week 5 betting odds and my first picks on that. So the first matchup we had was the Roughnecks at Orlando. I had the Roughnecks minus 7.5. I think the line went all the way up to 9 right before, and I was hesitant on 9 just because it requires 2-score lead. Obviously, Houston easily covered that one. Orlando had some signs of life. A really confusing situation there. They took Paxton Lynch out for a drive, put him back in. He looked good at times. He looked very, very bad at other times. And the Roughnecks did what the Roughnecks do and just dominate the game. So as the stat line, Brandon Silvers, 24 of 30 for 3 touchdowns, sacked 2 times. Cole McDonald got in there in the end of the game. And then Jontre Kirkland with that fake double reverse touchdown pass to Harris. Dejon Lee, I was all on Bryson Elliott, 6 for 20, no touchdowns. Lee got in there, 6 for 45 and 2 touchdowns. So on the receiving side, Cedric Byrd led the team in receptions. Jontre Kirkland, 2 for 49 touchdown. Dante Burnett, 3 for 62 and a touchdown. Travell Harris, 3 for 83 and 2 touchdowns. So, the stat line just doesn't look crazy, but, they didn't have to do much. I don't think they ran the ball. I don't think they ran the ball that much until basically the second half. So, Houston wants that lead. They want to continue to hold that lead. They want a 2-score lead at least. So a lot of people, as you can see by the receptions, getting the ball. And then on the Guardian side, like I mentioned, Paxton Lynch, 18 for 30, 2 touchdowns, 4 sacks. His stat line doesn't prove of exactly what the game looked like. A lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of bad play calling, some instances where the coach and offense coordinator were not on the same page, and then they were. We see Charleston Rambo finally get included in the offense. Cody Latimer continuing to be one of the more consistent pieces on this team. Eli Rogers gets included. A lot of guys included in this offense. But the only two that really stand out to me is Charleston Rambo and Cody Latimer. Jermaine Martin, 4 for 20. They go Devin Darrington, 12 of 40, just as a change of pace. But overall, Orlando is, I hate to say it, but they are the bottom team by far. And then we get Seattle hosting against San Antonio. This was an odd game. I was on the over on this one. I got this very much wrong. 6-6 going in half, and I was like, yep, this is done. And it continues that San Antonio, a couple injuries in the wide receiver position. Travis Johnson, I think, is the one that got hurt. They didn't have TJ Vasher, so a couple injuries on the wide receiver position means other guys had to step up. Jalen Tolliver, someone that I was on for DFS, had a pretty good week. But, the run game is what amazes me is they were down by 9. Like, it was a 1-score game pretty much the entire game, and they had 11 carries. I think they have one of the better, rushing units as far as running backs and stuff like that. They had 11 carries. They passed 39 times against Seattle. That was just very odd to me, overall, of what they did. Jack Cohen, 39 passing attempts. It's crazy to me. And then Ben DiNucci, 28 of 41, a touchdown and a pick. Morgan Ellison was healthy. Got banged up in the game, but 16 for 69. He's one of the better running backs in this league by far. Consistency is definitely his best trait. And then wide receiver, Ja'Carri Pearson, still him, Josh Gordon, and Kirkland, top 3 guys so far. There's other guys stepping up, don't get me wrong, but I think those 3 guys are the ones that stand out the most. Blake Jackson, 5 of 59. Juwan Green, 4 for 36. Jordan Vesey getting included, 3 for 14. Pretty straightforward game. Seattle didn't have to score. A lot of just drop passes and stuff like that out of the Seattle side, but they played it smart. They had the lead. They didn't need to throw and score all that much that they usually do. and they held on to a 15-6 victory. And then the game of the week, pretty much I'd say the game of the season, and not just back and forth wise, it's just the amount of support that the Battlehawks got. It was, I think, over 38,000 was the attendance at home against Arlington. And the one thing that is staying consistent with Arlington is their offense. Not good. Devon Smith, 9 for 24. Kyle Slaughter, 23 for 39, 3 picks. I think two of them, if I can remember, two of them weren't really on him as much. I believe the ball placement could have been better. But I don't want to necessarily say they were 100% his fault. One definitely was. But 23 of 39. This offense cannot put points up on the board. It's clear. The only way Arlington stays in games at this point is their defense. Their defense holding them in games. And when you have a Battlehawks team that's playing at home, you get Brian Hill, who's healthy, 18 for 89. A.J. McCarron, 20-27, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Derek Shepard, I mean, he's having a very good run right now in the XFL. 8 of 91 and a touchdown. Hakeem Butler, 5 of 52 and a touchdown. Austin Pearl, 4 and 26. Hakeem Butler, very good. Tall tight end. Derek Shepard, just, you gave a guy opportunities and you make him shine or not shine, and Derek Shepard is definitely taking those opportunities for the positive. Battlehawks are hosting DC coming up. We'll take a look at that. But yeah, they get that victory 24-11. Had St. Louis -4 and the under was definitely a sweat at the end of this game. So cashed on that game. And then the last one was Vegas at DC, and man, I have DC and St. Louis, so these are big wins for me personally, just because of my future bets. But I had Vegas at +6, +6.5, and +7. I really liked Vegas in this spot. Obviously, they didn't get that end of the first half touchdown, and then the second half, just momentum killed. Penalties, a lot of penalties in this game, not just on Vegas, and it was completely one-sided, but a lot of momentum penalties were against Vegas, but DC still had a lot of penalties as well. The most surprising thing to me is Brett Hundley got taken out. They said it wasn't injury related, it was performance based. They showed a clip of Rod Woodson breaking down that he missed a read, I guess, was kind of why they were taking him out. And then they went with Luis Perez the entire rest of the game. And my issue with him is, I don't believe he was only sacked once, though. That doesn't sound entirely right. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could have swore he got sacked at least 2 or 3 times, because there were times where he just needed to get the ball out and he held on to it too long. They were able to establish some good runs here and there. John Lovett, Rod Smith, as you can see, the average was not bad there at all. I was just more surprised that they took Brett Hundley out. Nothing against Luis Perez, but I think Brett Hundley being a dual threat is kind of better than how Perez is. But we'll see what they do next week, hosting Orlando. Receiving, Jeff Badette, 7 of 80. Sinek Sweeting, 3 of 65 and 2 touchdowns. I believe he was the one. It was either him or Sexton. Had a crucial, unfortunate situation. The rain played a factor in this game again, which is what I hate. Granted, I'm still happy DC won. I like the over in this game, but I had Vegas at all that. They had a very unfortunate slip and threw an interception, and that pretty much killed the momentum of it and them covering. But Sweeting, 3 of 65, 2 touchdowns. A lot of guys included Martavis Bryant, 3 of 43. Matthew Sexton, 4 of 33. But on the DC side, they did what they do, what they need to do. Jordan Ta'amu, 14 of 19 for 177. On the ground, 39 for 173. Jordan Ta'amu, I believe it was the second half to start it, had a big run, that 49-yard run. Abraham Smith, 22-58. I mean, they just got the yards when they needed the yards. Sometimes they ran on first and second down, didn't get anything. Armstead, you could see as well. But they did get the yards when they needed to. I mentioned Chris Blair and Lucky Jackson as my 2. Lucky Jackson being my top priority as far as DFS plays. But Chris Blair also had a good game, 4 of 84. Josh Hammond, you can see 5 of 17. Jaquiz Ezzard, I believe, had that Derek King touchdown at the end of the game, which was great play calling. If you saw that touchdown and you were like me and you bet on Vegas, you saw that touchdown, and man, that was such a smart play. Derek King barely thrown the ball at all this season. I still don't even believe his stat line is right. I think he was 2 for 2 for 70. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that play call was so smart. So smart. And DC hangs on. They win 32-18 and on the road next week. So let's take a look at the week 5. Seattle hosting Houston, St. Louis hosting DC, Vegas hosting Orlando, San Antonio hosting Arlington. We could see the betting odds. And my first look, my picks, I liked Houston. I thought Houston was going to be about -5 in this matchup. They're -2.5. I've taken that already. And then I've taken the over 41.5. I expected this to be at like a 44, 42, somewhere around there. They're at 41.5. And I could bring it up really quick for you guys. Bring it up. I just try to import all my stats into a spreadsheet. It makes it easier for me to kind of see things that stand out. And you're getting the top 2 offenses in the league. Now, don't get me wrong. You're also getting 2 of the top defenses in the league as well. But in a game like this where momentum, you get Houston gets a lead or Seattle gets a lead. We all know what Seattle can do. They turn the ball over quite a bit and give opportunities. Although last week they held onto the ball pretty good. But overall, 41.5, Houston -2.5. I have those bets in already. I like Seattle. It's hard to bet against this Houston team. They just look so good overall. San Antonio gave them a little bit of a struggle. Obviously, Seattle can move the ball a lot more efficient than San Antonio, and their defense has been pretty good. But yeah, I'm on Houston. And then we have St. Louis against DC. St. Louis +1.5 at home, plus money line +105. So I'm taking that +1.5. If I were to bet St. Louis, I don't know if I want to commit to that yet. But I'm more looking at the total. Obviously, a very high scoring game in the first game. And I expect the same thing in this game as well at 42. Both St. Louis and DC being able to move the ball in their own respective ways. And then Orlando at Vegas. Vegas -7.5 now against Orlando. I don't know. I might just avoid that game as a whole. And just watch it. I think I do have right now that I like is parlaying Houston -2.5 and then Vegas money line. Vegas 0-4. I get it. You look at some of the numbers, but a lot of their games are closer than what they actually are. They played DC twice. The weather's been bad there twice. Their other 2 games they've lost by 1 score. So I put them ahead of Orlando easily. So -330, and then that -2.5 is what I'm taking. And then last but not least, San Antonio at Arlington. I do not have a bet yet on this game. If I were to bet something, it's going to be that under. Both these defenses are okay. Arlington's I'd put as one of the better defenders in the league. But San Antonio, we just saw Seattle's offense kind of be stagnant there. So I don't know what I'm really on in that game. Maybe the under, but we'll see as the week goes on. Overall, another good week out of me in the XFL. Probably my more lost weeks that I've had. I've only lost 1 bet up until this week. And then I've lost 2 bets this week. 3 if you count the multiple Vegas bets. So that is it for this video. For DFS purposes, I will have a video going out tomorrow morning on my first look. So if you guys are interested in that, please check that out as well. If you guys do enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. That means a lot to me. Trying to grow my channel on multiple sports, not just NFL. So I will see you guys in the next one.